I hope that I'm live. Okay, I can see that I'm live here. Oh no, I forgot to actually bring my phone here to check, but that's okay. I'm so excited to be with you guys today and, of course, to be in Amanda's amazing group. So, just to give you a bit of background, how I know Amanda, it has been such an amazing journey, actually. So, she is the lady behind my course at the moment. So, she's helping me put together my course, she's designed my sales page, and all of that. So, that's how we know each other. And of course, I know some of the other experts that are going to be with you all during the week as well, because obviously we all lean on each other, we all work together. But so my name's Terry, and I'm originally from South Africa. Uh, it says that my frame is too low. Please forgive me, I normally do this off my phone, so I hope that I can be seen okay. If there's anyone there, you can just give me a wave, let me know that you're there. If you catch the replay, give me a hashtag replay, just so that I know that I am definitely live here. But anyway, so my name's Terry, and of course, Amanda has introduced me throughout the week. I'm a transformational coach, and I primarily work online, and I help ladies, overcome many difficulties in terms of trauma. But that's not why I'm here today. And I'm actually in the lovely UK. I'm sure most of you are also in different parts of the world. So I would also love to know where you are. So let me know where you are in the comments. Hello, Tanya. Nice to see you. I'm so glad that that means that I am live. Wonderful. Okay, good. So obviously today I'm not here in terms of my coaching. I actually came in to chat a little bit more about your avatar, so your ideal customer avatar. Hey, Amanda. Yes, you're in the USA. Lovely. And Tanya, I'd love to know where you are. I know that we've connected on Facebook, but are you also in the UK? How's this weather that we're having here? I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe the UK is not so bad after all. Okay, so I'm going to be discussing with you a few things. And before I go into the logic behind it, or, give you some tips and techniques, I just want to discuss. You're in the UK as well. Awesome. So how's this weather treating you? I have many friends that are obviously British, and they are just not coping at all. They think I'm absolutely crazy because I'm just loving this weather so damn much. I'm just outside as much as I possibly can be. So before I go into, the tips that I have, and I did create like a bit of a PPT, but if I'm honest, I leave the tech stuff up to Amanda, and that includes like all of this stuff. I don't even know how to share a screen here unless I'm on Zoom. So what I will do is, after I've done the live, I will actually drop the PPT in the comments below, just so that you've got it kind of to refer back to, and you've got it in point form. I don't know why I keep getting this message. Please let me know if it cuts off, but it keeps telling me that the FPS is too low, and it keeps giving me a warning, so I don't know what that means. But anyway, so I will definitely drop that in the comments for you, so that you've got it to refer back to, and obviously if there's any questions on the people catching the replay, they can obviously drop it there as well. Yes, love the weather. Oh, good. So I'm not the only crazy one. Hey. Okay, awesome. So if I just give you a bit of background in terms of me and what I did before. So before I launched the course now that I'm busy putting together, I actually went through Chanel's program, the lovely woman you met yesterday. And I put together... So you can see me, no problem. Wonderful. Then I'm just going to leave that warning on the screen and ignore it. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. So I went through Chanel's program, and then I launched a membership, which actually did really well. And I felt like at that stage, I decided that my ICA would be expat woman, because essentially I am an expat woman. I've been traveling. This is what I love to do. And at the beginning of my journey, I really felt alone, and I could have really had like a community, So that's what I was thinking. But then as I started developing the membership, I realized that I was quite detached from that, because, what I feel like I can give to my client is everything that I have gone through and I have worked through myself. So of course I'm a coach, and I want to be able to connect with my client in that way, so that we have some similarities. I can empathize with what they're going through. And obviously everybody that goes through this process is different. We're all doing different things. But I think that if you can really design something around your own passions, your values, all of that, you can't go wrong, because then you can really relate to your customer. So then I decided I wanted to work with women, and then I opened my niche up, because I thought moms is too closed up. I opened it, and I just want to work with any woman, I just want to help women all over the world, and that's what I decided. What I found was the ladies that came into my membership, and this I'll get into more with, the tips I'm going to give you, but the ladies that came into my membership are all amazing. But then I started having other people kind of contact me that were maybe not really interested. They just wanted the freebies, free advice. And then I realized that I just opened my niche up way too much. And although a lot of what I do is related to trauma, I was getting a lot of people in terms of mental health and counseling, which obviously I am not that I don't want to help them, but that's not my field entirely. So then I had to go through the whole process again, and that's where this experience has come from. And now what I did with the ladies that I have already in my membership is I went through a process that I'm going to explain to you, where I actually kind of dug a little deeper into what they needed at the beginning of the program, what attracted them to me, why did they choose me as a coach specifically, why are they willing to pay me, what were their difficulties. So I started there. I had a look at my current clients so that I could get a better idea of who I was dealing with. And the more I did that, I actually realized that I was dealing with women that were exactly where I was 3 years ago. And they're all moms, and they all share similar passions, interests, and of course all the nitty-gritty stuff that we have to deal with. So that also gave me like an ideal customer that I wanted to work with. And then I went back to the drawing board of everything that we were taught, obviously, in the business coaching that we did. And I'll go through a bit of that as well, and what I've discovered now, re-niching, if we want to put it that way. But I cannot stress enough how important having an avatar is, just simply because it allows you to not only connect with your client and understand them better, but it helps you in terms of your marketing. Okay, so the messaging that you're actually sending out, because you need to be speaking to that person so that they understand that you are the correct person to deal with. Whatever kind of business, I'm guessing, is the same kind of thing, especially with courses. I think if I think about some of the ladies that I've seen do courses, they always go with something that they are passionate about, something that they've done, something that's worked for them, something that they want to share with the world. And I really think that that's the best way to dive in and find that client, because you can connect with them. And Amanda, I love how naturally you attract your ideal client when you are in aligned with your offer and focus. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. And I had to do this the long and hard way. I built this membership, I spent so much money on it, and then I just felt so disconnected from it the whole time, and I couldn't understand Why? And it's because you're putting yourself out there and you want to be authentic at the end of the day. And when you're just coming across as salesy or not really authentically yourself, it makes it really hard for you to show up for people. And that's what I started to find. So it's been so amazing to really re-niche and redo all of this and realign my focus. So I'm just going to pull up these slides so that I can follow them. I know that you can't see them, but I'm sure that you can still see me. And I will, of course, put them in the comments straight after this. So as I discussed now, that there are some ways to find your ideal client. And I really suggest that if you have already started a business, go back to the client base that you already have. Have a look at that. What are the similarities between each of those clients? Because there's obviously a reason that they're drawn to you, and then you can use that not only in your marketing, but to help you essentially find out what that avatar is to you. Okay, so consider their current habits, identify their goals, their fears, identify how they make their buying decisions, and then really ask yourself as well, because this is so important. Ask yourself who you want to work with, because this is something that I experienced, and you realize that you can't serve everyone. So I obviously had some amazing ladies join me, and then I had some other ladies that also wanted to join, and then you kind of realize that that's more draining and not really where your energy lies, if I can say that. I'm not sure if people resonate with energy and vibrations and things like that, but that's a lot of the work that I do, so I'm going to use that terminology, and I hope that it resonates with you. But you have to make sure that it aligns with you. I felt like every time I was putting myself out there for these people that I so badly wanted to help, I was feeling drained and depleted. My vibration was becoming lower because I had to match them, and they weren't ready for what I had to share or what I had to teach them. So it's so important that you make sure you are working with someone that you want to work with. Okay. And if you like to journal about that. And of course, you're going to write about your avatar as well. And then, of course, have a look at what they actually need. So if you have a look at your current clients, what was that need that they had when they decided to join your program, your business, your course, buy your product, whatever that may be? Okay, so what initially triggered that? And then if you have not started a business, and this is something that you are thinking about doing, so there are some other ways that you can also dive into this. Of course, you're going to do market research, chat to your ideal clients, and you would then follow the same kind of steps as I just explained with speaking to existing clients. But then you're going to take it a step further, and you're actually going to have a look at the industry that you want to be in, and identify a few top companies, in that industry, and find out how they are targeting their ideal clients, and also look at some products that you would maybe buy, because essentially you want to sell to that version of yourself, or coach that version of yourself, or whatever that looks like for you. And while I'm talking about this, if you can, in the comments, drop down what kind of business or what kind of course are you actually thinking about doing, because that would be interesting to see as well. And if you already have a business, drop it in the comments as well. And then, of course, so identify how your competitors are targeting their audience. Personally, I'm using a lot of Facebook, and I also have my ladies in my membership promoting me all the time, which is so amazing. And because they do that, I've then decided to actually create that affiliation with them. So every person they bring in for me, they obviously earn some money as well. But I'm going to go into that a bit more as well. And then find out your target audience, like their livelihood, like what are they spending, where are they living, are they locally, are they internationally, do they travel full time? You need to know these things, right? Because essentially you need to decide, where is your product going to be? Are you only going to sell locally? Are you only going to work locally? Or is this going to be an international thing? Because that's going to help you market yourself as well. And then identify if it's a large segment or a small section of people. And this you will also have to do research on, depending on the product that you have. You know, is it a low ticket product and you need many, many people? Like I personally, well, with my membership experience, you know, you need many people to kind of make your dreams and aspirations come true. Whereas now, Amanda's helping me, thank goodness. I'm going to launch this high ticket course, and then I can give more of myself to the ladies that go through my program, because I'm not draining myself on fulfilling the requirements of this membership. Okay, and find out what their core problem is and how your product or service could help solve their problem. So these are all questions that you can really ask yourself, and research that you can do. And of course, like I said, I will drop it down. But when it comes to your ICA, so that's obviously something that you will work on. I'm so sorry, I'm sniffing because I have such bad allergies. I was sneezing before this live, and it's coming back now. So if we look at your ICA, it's a customer avatar, and this is basically just a detailed analysis of your ideal client's profile. So what does that person look like? And really dive deep into that. You know, what do they like? What do they look like? How do they shop? Where do they live? What is their personality? And that will really help you then connect with them later on. And it also helps you to just focus on this one specific client, highlighting everything that could be labeled as important about them. One thing I realized when I was trying to help everyone is I couldn't target specific people with my messaging, and it became very wishy-washy because I was trying to cater for everyone. But the moment I just went back to being authentically me, sharing my message and speaking to that version I was 3 years ago, it completely changed the dynamic of my business. So it's so important that you align with your ICA. Cannot stress that enough. So when you're a business, you're obviously looking to growth and make a customer avatar your ideal clients, so that you can find better approaches to pitch to them as well. And it's all about the marketing, so it's so important to have that messaging clear. So these are just some things that you can go through. So where is your ideal customer geographically? So as I said, locally, internationally. What are their income level, living standards, their educational and professional backgrounds? So this is important for you to know, depending on, you know, whatever product you're selling. You know, like for example, myself and Amanda, we can pretty much, and I think Chanel's a digital nomad mom, and I think Amber, we're all based online, so we can kind of cater for everybody. But I've met with a few coaches, and I'm specifically working with a wealth energetics coach now. She specifically only deals with people locally. So you have to decide what that looks like for you. And then, of course, what languages do they speak and understand if you're not English, or you want to cater for a different market? And how old is your target customer? You know, because there's a huge array of ages to deal with. So what does that look like? You know, are they older because specifically you want to work with somebody that's more mature, more professional? Maybe you want to work with teens. So really ask yourself the age there. And how does their average day look like? You know, so for me, I know that I need to work with someone that has enough time in their day to actually sit down with themselves, that loves themselves enough actually to make time for themselves. But if you're going to work with someone that's retired, then you know if your course is I don't know, about gardening or whatever it is, you know that you can work with someone that has a free day. So it's important to understand that as well. What are their hobbies, their interests, their values? Because this will help you actually target them in marketing as well. And what is the best channel of communication? So would that be by email, social media, in person? What does that look like for you? Like another wonderful hypnotherapist here that I've met in the town that I'm in, she only deals with people face to face. So that would be her target market, and it obviously would be via email. She promotes on social media, but essentially when she sees her clients, it's face to face. So it's really understanding that as well. And do they need your products or services, or do they just want it? So think about that. Is it something that they cannot live without, or is it something that they just want? And remember that you have to kind of come across in a way that they really need that. So it's all about understanding what they need. And what are the problems your ideal customers are facing? Are they looking for a solution to this problem? And that you can also really find out from existing clients that you have. My ladies really helped me with that. They were so lovely. I could ask them so many questions, and they really helped me with realigning with my avatar, so that I could now, when I level up and start selling a high ticket, I know who I'm speaking to. And what are the solutions that you have found for their pain points? So understanding that they have a problem and you need to tell them how you're going to solve that problem. Okay. And then when you have created this avatar of yours and you know exactly who you want to work with and what that looks like, you can start to attract that ideal client. Okay, so the first step is to identify and then know your value, right? So what are you offering them? How are you going to tell them that you have exactly what they want? Okay, and have very strong branding that speaks to that avatar. I think that for me, I work with moms and specifically with trauma. So a lot of my branding is very colorful, welcoming, and I showcase my kids in my branding. I don't mind that at all, because that's essentially what I create after healing trauma, is building relationships. So I have pictures of me and my husband, and that's my brand, is my family. That's what's become my brand. And obviously your brand will be very different depending on what you're doing. And a lot of coaches use themselves as their branding, because essentially the client is buying directly from them. Okay, and make sure that you're sending out a clear message. Remember that your messaging is so very important, and I've learned it the hard way. You cannot have this wishy-washy trying to serve everybody. You need to be very specific. You need to know who you want to deal with so that you can constantly be talking to that person. Because one thing my girls say whenever they watch my videos or whatever, they feel like I'm speaking to them personally, even though I'm not. I've just recorded a video and I've made it for whoever watches it. They feel like it's very personalized because I can relate to every single one of them. I understand their pain points. I understand, the situation that they've come from, where they're going, their goals that they have. So that's so important to understand every single one of your clients. And it also really helps in terms of building a community. The ladies that I have now all understand and support and guide each other because they are so similar in so many ways. Okay. And then the next point is to be in the right place. Remember that you have to show up every single day as the face of your business. So creating that energy and being mindful, whatever that means to you. Of course, we're all different. But remember that that persona that you have created needs to stay that way. Of course, we can all have off days, but it doesn't mean you're going to go and slander all over Facebook, like stuff this crap and whatever. No, you have to show up every single day as that person and show them, that your brand is 100% who you are. Authenticity is so important. Okay. And then engage on a personal level. So this is something that I have to still work on. I engage on such a personal level that I have no boundaries. So I really think that learning boundaries in terms of your clients is so important, because sometimes you give too much of yourself. But depending on what you do, like if you actually launch a course now like I'm doing, I'm quite excited about the fact that, I can launch this course, I can put it online, I can show up for my ladies once a week, and that's essentially what I have to do. But with my membership, I just felt like I was engaging all the time, inboxes, all of that. So it's really been such a growth and learning curve as well. And then offer consistent high quality. So remember that if this is the offer you promise, that's the offer you have to give, and it has to remain consistent. So you have to show up all the time for your clients. And of course, the referral system that I mentioned. So with my ladies, I have created a referral system. So they go out to promote me, and I then, of course, give them something in return. So that is essentially how I found my avatar, and all the processes that I've gone through and the learning curves and all of that. So I will definitely add this into the comments here. I just want to have a look. Looking at creating a course for child healthy food options, planning and cooking niche for dads, single, divorced. Amazing. I think that that's going to be so great. And the beauty about having a course is that you create it, it's there, and you know, all you have to do is really market yourself. But other than that, it's all already done. And I think that that's such a great niche, because one thing I've seen is that there's not much out there for men and for dads. So I think that this is such an amazing course for you to create. And I wish you all the success in the world with that as well. So that's all I want to share about the ICA with everyone. Are there any questions? I'm not sure who's still online, but it's been so awesome to just chat with you, share my experience. And obviously everybody's experience is completely different. You know, we all have different ways of showing up for people. We all have different businesses. But ideally, I think that your customer needs to be somebody that you understand 100%. And the only way that you can do that is to do market research, to actually speak to some people. You know, I was considering even kind of branching out to dads as well, because there's nobody that supports men really. So I think that if you can do that, it will be really great. So what I did was I actually started speaking to dads, started asking some questions, because it's so important to understand whether, even though I think it's a great idea, but whether I can cater to that market, and whether my program or my service really will be the right thing for them. So the only way to kind of know that is by doing that research all the time. And I think that it never really ends. I know that I see coaches that I've dealt with or I've worked with specifically changing their niche all the time. And I think that that also happens because you as a person, you start to develop, you start to, understand different things. Maybe you want to learn something different. Maybe you feel like you're past that level. And that's one thing that I also found is I don't want to work with ladies 10 steps behind me. I want to work with ladies that are at least like 3 steps behind me. Not that I'm above anybody else, but just in terms of that transformation and that growth, because then I can also continue leveling up and I can continue growing and continue learning. I learn so much from my clients every single day, and I think that's the beauty of having a business, is that it's not just one-sided. You know, there needs to be that energy flow, that give and take. So I think that that's very important. So thank you so much, Amanda, for having me. I'm not sure if you're still there, and for creating this group for us so that we can connect with like-minded people, and just so that we can continue learning from each other. And if you have any questions, please leave them below, and remember the slides with the points will be there as well for you to refer back. Okay, have a good evening, everybody, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.